about it, so I can't wait.
Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. So glad you guys are with us. Don't forget, if you missed the first hour of today's show, you can always get it at golftalkradio.com and click on the podcast icon, and you'll find all of our podcasts. We have tons of shows on podcasts. Got to thank some partners of ours. We burned through the first hour with Chris Rigby from thepatronscaddy.com. You're looking at 2020 Masters packages or looking to go in the future, definitely check out the Patrons Caddy, thepatronscaddy.com. Also, Dr. Ryan McGowie from McGowie Health Group, located in Atascadero, California. HealthySLOCounty.com is the website. 805-461-8822. He's my doc. He's helped me out with nerve adhesions, all sorts of different things with my back. Sciatica, you name it, Dr. Ryan McGowie can help you guys out. He's helped me out a ton over the years. 805-461-8822. Tell him Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy sent you. And also McPhee's Grill of Templeton, McPhee'sGrill.com, 805-434-3204. Hometown cooking through and through. They have their own barbecue sauce, macadamia-encrusted mahi, oak grilled filet mignon, you name it. Ian and the crew are great. McPhee'sGrill.com, 805-434-3204.
Our history segments lately, we've done one the last 6 or 7 shows, everything from the history of the Titleist golf ball to the pull cart to the glove. Had a lot of fun with it. And the voices that came out actually originated at the Masters back in was it 15 or 16, I guess we were there, 16. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just a fun voice. The people behind us were from the South, and we're talking about certain things. And but they were brutal, actually. They were very judgmental, very brutal people. But we were listening carefully, and then the voices just kind of creeped into us. So we started to speak with that voice, and that lasted the whole trip while we were there, and it still lasts to this day. So I enjoy the voice, and I enjoy these segments. These are true history segments, but the voices that come out of Michael B. and myself are originated from the guys that sit. So we got to give credit to the gentleman that sit behind us on the 16th green right by the pond at Augusta.
It's amazing when you think of the timing of the whole thing. Think about the planning of the Augusta trip in 2016, and little did we know that if we weren't at hole 16 at that very day, that very time, that very moment, these things would never
happen. It's the fate of the daily things that go on. It's all fate, buddy.
It's how life is intertwined.
So I can't wait to hear about the history of the club, and it's one of the things I really don't know much about. I knew about the ball a little bit, but we did specifically the Titleist ball, right?
Right.
But the golf ball I've studied in the past, and we used to do history segment, but the club itself, I can't wait to hear. So
it's pretty interesting.
Let's enjoy this, man. I can't wait. So hold on.
You gotta fix your glasses.
Yeah, they're much better now.
All right.
Welcome to another history segment. This one's the history of the golf club. Early golf clubs.
Way early?
Really early. In the earliest days of golf on the eastern coast of Scotland, players used primitive equipment to play the game in a rather haphazard and casual manner. While players initially carved out their own clubs and balls from wood...
Ouch! Is that a splinter?
Ooh, that could get infected. Try Neosporin.
I'll go get it.
I'll hold on a second. They soon turned into skilled craftsmen that produced competitive equipment. The earliest reference to a set of specifically made golf clubs is when King James IV of Scotland commissioned a bowmaker in Perth to make him a set in 1502.
Here you go, Your Highness. Looks like a cane.
Ooh. A set of clubs at the time consisted of a set of play clubs called long noses for driving.
That's not nice.
Long noses were for driving. Grassed drivers were for fairways.
The king had a nose?
I guess so.
Long nose.
Those were medium range shots too. Short range shots were spoons.
I'm hungry.
If you wanted to hit a wedge shot, grab your niblick. And for putting, you want to check out a putter. No. A cleek.
A cleek.
Cleek.
For putting, check out a putter.
After 1618,
good name.
Yes, it's very simple. After 1618, the feathery golf ball was introduced, which endured for more than 200 years.
Softer.
But the clubs were made from tough woods such as beech, holly, pear, and apple.
Hard to carve.
Yeah,
Need a
shafts
strong knife.
really strong. It makes me hungry. Shafts were made from ash or hazel. The head was connected to the shaft using a splint, and then they bound tightly a leather strap to connect the two.
A broken club is fixed.
Yay, let's go play. The cost, time, and effort that went into making golf clubs priced them beyond the reach of the many masses of people who would love to play the game.
Hundreds.
Tens of hundreds.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. The clubs, especially long noses and niblicks, were also prone to breakage, and a golfer could expect to break at least one club a round.
Need a
Wow.
better splint.
One club a round.
That's a lot.
Oh,
You broke one club around for a while.
I did, but I learned my lesson.
You're better now.
I'm better than I used to be. These factors meant that golf was typically associated with the upper echelons of society.
The rich long-nosed people.
Can you spell echelon? That's a big word, people.
I'd rather pass.
There was some experimentation with club faces. Some club makers used leather and other materials in an attempt to increase compression and therefore distance.
Made a thumping type sound.
I bet.
Bad in the weather.
Others implanted metal and bone fragments into the club. Bone fragments?
Where'd they get those?
Oh, Johnny, I broke my arm.
Get another split.
Can I borrow your bone fragment? I want to make a golf club.
Is it a compound break? I need some bone.
I hope it's the tibia.
Lots of bone.
In an attempt to prevent clubs from shattering, they did use bone fragments and metal. As early as 1750, sub club makers used forged metal heads for the niblicks.
Well, I need some hot fire for that.
I don't like fire. In 1826, a club maker named Robert Forgan of Scotland began to use hickory imported from America to produce and manufacture shafts. This was quickly adopted as the wood of choice, although the others continued to be used, probably because of the cost.
Gotta ship over some more hickory.
I love me some hickory. I love that smell.
Like camping.
The invention of the gutty ball, Guttie.
The gutta percha.
Yeah, the gutty ball in 1848 by Reverend Adam Patterson quickly rendered long noses obsolete.
No more noses.
No.
Nose job.
Instead,
Rhinoplasty.
bulgers were used to cope with the increased stresses occurred.
Bulges?
Bulges,
Is it-
like Folgers, the coffee, but B-U-L.
Oh, bulges.
Bulgers.
Something that bulges.
What's that? Can't say it.
Nice bulge.
Are you wearing pants?
Look at that guy's bulge. He's got a good club.
That's a bag.
Oh, back clubs.
That's a bag of bulges. Bulgers closely resembles today's woods in that they had a bulbous head. Interestingly enough, professionals such as Allen Robinson and Old Tom Morris and Willie Park Snur Senior, I think it's supposed to be senior. It says Snur.
Willie Snur.
Park Snur
Yeah.
had workshops making clubs and balls which were exported around the world.
They were known as great club makers.
Yeah, back then golfers associated Scotland with golf equipment in a way that today we associate Switzerland with timepieces, such as it was an extremely lucrative trade.
Wow.
I'm almost done, thank God.
Scotland and clubs. Timekeeping of the
Yeah.
past.
By 1900, persimmon imported from America had replaced beech and other hardwoods.
I
as
walk
the-
on the beach.
You do. Other hardwoods as material of choices for club heads. The popular alternative was aluminum.
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 Mm.
In keeping with the tradition of hand-forged metal clubs. Indeed, in 1902,
Lighter.
Mr. E. Burr introduced groove face irons for increased backspin. One more paragraph to go.
Okay, was he a friend of Mr. Snur?
I think he was. Park Snur. Willie Park Snur. Although blacksmiths such as Thomas Horsburgh
Yeah.
experimented with steel shafts since the late 1800s or 1890s,
Wow.
they were only slowly adopted. The RNA only legalized them after the Prince of Wales used them on the old course at St. Andrews in 1929.
Nice shot, Your Highness.
Yes,
Is that a steel shaft?
that's a bulger. Billy Burke was the first to win a major tournament with steel-shafted clubs when he won the U.S. Open in 1931.
Good for you, Billy.
And that's part one of the history of the golf clubs and balls.
That's long before graphite, which is coming soon.
Yes.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. You gotta love that segment.
It was
you
good,
You
man.
never know what's
You
gonna
don't
happen.
know.
Because apparently Michael doesn't read these ahead of time either.
It's kind of cool that we done it's not Ritter, but you know what? There's a lot of history there, and I didn't know about the Bulger. That's the Big Head Club that came out. They called it a Bulger.
I have never heard that term
and
in my
the
life.
splinted club means, well, you'd have to be. Well, they did that with arrowheads, right? Arrowheads were splinted,
Yeah.
and so they. But you're not. Well, they hit things pretty hard too. I guess that makes sense if it's done right. The splinted head would take the. Especially it's a they're just hitting little feather things.
Well, a couple of the early golf balls were pretty hard. So
Yeah.
if you think about trying to put a splint and tying it down,
That's
and
what I
then
was
you're hitting a
thinking.
hard
So
ball.
when they became they used to be carved in one piece, look like a cane,
Right.
and then when they were two pieced and splinted, that's pretty intense woodwork right there. That's pretty cool, man. Wish I had one. And, that would be finding one of them old originals.
It's so funny when we do this history segment. I always start. We get about 3/4 of the way through, and I start turning into Bill Clinton.
Yes, you do.
I caught myself again, and
That's all right,
I'm
Bill.
not saying my Bill.
Well, it's Southern. It's just
I'm
a
not
little
saying my
different.
Bill Clinton is a good impression, but I caught myself.
So you catch
there.
him you hear him in the
I
back.
heard it, and I was like, "What the heck's going on?" It's going back there again.
Well, he's a Southern guy, so
He's a
well done.
Southern Cross.
Golf Spin, I'm really grateful for the new one. I wish I had it, obviously, in the Palm Springs. I don't play much. But if you could guess what I shot, I'll buy you lunch.
Did you get the whole 18?
We did.
You did.
We played all 18 holes. And my knee never bothered me. But my shoulder and everything. But
What was the length of the course you got?
62 and change.
62.
62.7, something like that. 62.70. I looked at the scorecard. And
What was the par?
72.
74.
Not bad, not bad.
78.
73. I played. I
was right there, man.
I chipped it great because I missed a
right
lot of greens, but I chipped it up within a couple of feet. For some reason, the chipping was on.
Yeah.
So,
Were you happy with that? You should be, right?
sort
Totally.
of. Yeah.
I'd be thrilled with that right now.
I was. My friends, I think, were a little surprised. I was too, but you can't show that on because I haven't played. But it's all that first tee shot was solid and it sets the pace.
Yeah.
And I had a really good approach 8-iron and I only had 2 birdies, so I had a lot of pars, but I made a lot of 2, 3 to 5 footers. I mean, every time I chipped up, I made all but one. So I've had one not up.
Dude,
and
you're
in.
a putting maniac.
So it was-
your putting has always just been
But,
phenomenal. I mean, no matter how you're striking the ball, man.
yeah, I don't think I only hit a couple greens on the back, but I missed them just off. This was in one bunker, got it up and in. So, but it was kind of nice.
Did you drive the ball well?
I drove it pretty good, but it wasn't. I'm not hitting it very far, right?
Okay, so I'm
hitting-
hoping this driver
This
I
is
got
6,200
is-
yard courses, and they're 380-yard holes, and I'm hitting 6-iron into these things. So I'm only hitting it like 210.
Sounds like you got a lot of spin going.
It's just
a lot of
bleh.
backspin
But
or
it
something.
was they look pretty, just didn't go very far. And it was cold. It was in the desert, but they're usually but it was no complaints. I had laughed. It was one of those casual like when I
yeah.
play with you.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a lot of laughing.
Love those rounds.
And those guys, Barry's not the golfer in the group, and he hits shots that are it's just unbelievable where some of the balls end up where he hits.
I love that.
So you just
That's so great.
crack up. And he didn't want to rent clothes. He wanted to bring his old clothes with him. He's got some from 1984 SHR things that I sold him back at Egremont, and they're just the oldest, worst irons ever. But he loves them, right? He says. And he has this driver that sounds like hitting of a frying pan. Boom! When he hits it. So I called him Frying Pan. What's up, Frying Pan?
That's awesome.
So we were in the house, and I found a frying pan and clicked it with my finger. Boom! and it sounded just like his tee shot. So we laughed about it. Every time he hit a shot, it was the sound just reverberated through the canyon there. Oh my
That
God.
is so
Just
funny.
like a frying pan. If you hit a frying pan with a spoon or
Yeah.
something, it's exactly what it sounds. Love this driver, man.
Do you remember the first
It goes nowhere.
the first R series driver that came out from TaylorMade? I want to say it was the
The
580.
Pittsburgh Persimmons? The little teeny?
This was when you and I and Augie and everybody were at Avila, and it was one of the first R series drivers that came out from TaylorMade in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, like the R7 or
And
R5.
I remember Augie got it, I think, because he was on staff, and he goes, "Oh, this driver's great." And we get up on the first tee, and he hits it, and it sounds like you're smashing a Coke can. And I thought to myself,
I
we're
can't
going
do
around
that.
and playing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't handle that sound. That's a terrible sound.
And the first,
And they fixed it.
the Callaway Bertha or something came out and sounded funny too. Off the tink.
Oh.
But this one was so funny. And so after 5 holes, Steve and I were just quenching, waiting for to hear the sound, and he'd hit it. Dong! And I would fall over laughing. And he's like, "Love this club, man." And I said, "Barry, that's just the oldest. I don't even know what it is, but it goes. No, man, I've never seen a ball turn so much in my life." So it was.
But like you said, those are the
Those
best
are the fun-
rounds of golf when you're playing with friends and things like
And
that.
I
are
said, "You guys
happening,
want to
know?
play a 3-person scramble to have some fun, right?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, man, we're out here. Let's just do it." And then after like 8 holes, Barry says, "Man, I wish I was playing a scramble." He's
That's awesome.
out of balls, and we're digging through our bags. So he was so funny. I say, "Hey, you had the chance, man. You had the chance."
That
But
is awesome.
We just laughed. But anyways, 73, little surprise.
Dude, that is. I'm actually not surprised, but you know what? I think
Even on the back, one over in the front.
That's awesome. I really think you're going to like the way this driver feels and the sound and everything. This G400 Max this ping is just.
I can't wait. 'Cause I could use that extra
And
yardage, man.
here's the other thing about it. The cool thing, and this is why I got it, is that it's very easy for me to be able to get a different shaft for you if this shaft.
Oh,
the Alta
the
that's
shaft
in
comes
it.
right out and you put a new one
Yeah.
in.
So if you're like, hey, this is a regular shaft, I'm not real keen on that, and you need a different shaft, I'll get it for you. So it'd be
Tom
easy to
Morris
swap it out.
snare, could he put a new
Snare.
head? So the one thing I just remember this vividly. It was a 380-yard hole, and I hit it what I thought was a good drive. Looked nice, and I got out there, and first I looked up and said, "This can't be 380 yards." I mean, you look at it, and it just looks so far away.
Yeah.
And I hit it decent, and I got up there, and I was like 210 out. And I'm thinking, this can't be right, man. So it can't be right. Either we looked at the wrong yardage or we played the wrong tee box, right? Because I'm thinking, God, I'm so short hitter, man. So I hit hybrid into a 380-yard hole with a decent-looking drive. So I think the tee boxes were wrong.
Something's not right.
Because and I remember looking at Steve going, "This is par 5." He said, "No, it's only 380 yards, man." I said, "No, it's not.
awesome.
It's not." And I hit it, and I'm out there going, "This got to be a par 5."
You're
And
driving to your ball, you're
so-
like, dude, I crushed
know.
that.
I did hit it good. It wasn't, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
This is a par 4.
And I had hot for 210, and I'm thinking to an elevated green on a 380-yard hole. Something wrong with
Oh,
that. So
gosh.
I'm pretty sure it was a tee box problem. Because, the tees all
Yeah,
look the same. They're just different places. But
That is so
that was funny. And I realized I need a new driver. So
Yeah, well, you got one. I can't wait. You got to try it today when your classes.
I will, man.
So let's take a break. We got a couple things we can come back talk about. We talk about the slow play thing. We got a couple things like the social media and golfers and whether or not they should engage in that, professional golfers and whatnot. So we'll take our first break of the second hour. We want to thank, again, Paso Robles Golf Club for partnering with Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Check out the brand new Deeds Bar and Grill Sports Bar, open 7 days a week at Paso Robles Golf Club. Open to the public 100% of the time. Located in the heart of wine country. Did you know, I just found out, Paso, #1 wine destination in the United States.
I read that somewhere. That's amazing.
It's insane.
That's awesome.
I mean, you really stop and think how many wineries are out there in the United States.
Yeah, then you think up what's Napa or something.
Oh, my
you
God.
would think, or somewhere in
It's
Italy or
unbelievable.
something, or France or whatever.
Yeah.
But you got it going on. So that you know what that means for you? House value, dude.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, it's awesome.
that also means if I sold the house, I can't go. I can't stay there.
Oh yeah,
I gotta
you can.
leave.
There is something.
I
to
like
that,
it
Mike.
there.
Yeah, that would be one heck of a sale.
Oh.
You could sell your house and still stay there. Wow,
That'd be awesome.
I don't know how you do that.
There might be a way. You
But
never know.
that's all right. You bang for a buck, you could go somewhere and buy a mansion. You can go to South
I
Carolina.
don't want a mansion.
You have a mansion. You
I
want to
don't-
downsize.
I don't want a mansion.
You can downsize.
Yeah, I don't want a mansion.
Yeah, you don't, your house is big now.
Yeah, well, when the kids are out, that'll be it. So, again, thank you, Pass Rebels Golf Club. PassRebelsGolfClub.com, 805-238-4722 for tee times for the championship golf course, or 805-238-4722 for Deeds Bar and Grill. If you guys want a place to watch the football games tomorrow, oh my God, Deeds Bar and Grill is insane. It's absolutely insane. They got TVs all over the place.
Plastic.
Big bar, roundhouse bar, veranda outdoors with TVs, you name it. The food is awesome. So anyway, we'll be right back. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. Stay with us.